Hollywood Wes Irwin here from Susquehanna Speedway. I'm in the Speed King studio. We're going to have some fun. Are you ready? Action starts at the Speedway on Friday night at the Outback track. Our younger racers have one last night to tune up their race cars to get dialed in for the final race of the season, the Little Harvest Classic on September 16th. The pit gates open at 5, drivers meeting at 6:45, hot laps at 7, heats and features at 7:30. Then on Saturday, it's the big one. It's the 42nd annual Credit Connection Auto Sales Gary Wolford Sportsman 100. Even before the action starts inside, you don't want to miss the pre-race party with special musical guests, the Colt Wilbur Band. They will be performing from 4 to 6 p.m. It's their second time on the stage at Susquehanna Speedway, and they rock. Some of your favorite sportsman teams will also have their cars on display outside the main gate. This prestigious race will start off with the customary time trials, so everybody needs to be on their game. If 100 laps of Super Sportsman Thunder aren't enough, the Extreme Stocks, Road Warriors, and EMMR vintage cars are also on the card. What? You want more? It's also Kids Night. Pits open at 2 p.m., grandstands at 4 p.m., live music from 4 to 6, and racing starts at 7 p.m. Ticket prices are $14 for adults, $12 for seniors 60 and older, $10 for students ages 13 to 17, and kids 12 and under, as always, are free. And if that's still not enough to fill out your evening, there will also be a bonfire after the night's racing winds down. Great for relaxing, hanging out with friends, and of course, bench racing. So bring your chairs and your coolers. I'm sure I will. There are still some details still in the works, so make sure to keep visiting us on Facebook or at susquehannaspeedway.net for the latest news. Now, before we take a look back at this past weekend's racing, starting with this edition, the first edition of the Susky Report each month will be inviting a special guest to stop by the Speed King studio for a one-on-one interview. When we return from the racing recap, we'll have our first special guest join us in the studio. The number 50 of Jay Kraut grabbed the lead at the start of the Beer Hill Gang Pass IMCA Sprint feature. With Kraut having a tire going down, the 3D of Dave Grube took the lead as Kraut made hard contact with the turn 4 wall. 67 Ken Duke found some bite on the bottom of turn 4 to rocket past Grube for the lead on lap 6. Tyler Reeser, who had been charging through the field from his 9th place starting spot, inherited the lead when a lap car boxed in Duke on lap 17. But what the lap car giveth, the lap car taketh away, giving the lead back to Duke with just 2 laps to go.
And problems for your leader, Tyler Reeser. Streaking away down the back straightaway.
Duke takes the win and lead in the series points in the process.
Second win of the season, first at Susky for Ken Duke Jr. Charles Rupert, and green is out.
Leroy Long led the first lap of the street stock feature.
Leroy Long, Brandon Warner into turns 1 and 2. Dalton Fry through the middle into the runner of cars in turns 3 and 4.
The 64, Brandon Warner, gets some airtime after collecting the 72 of Jason Townsend, sending both of them to the front stretch wall. Yellow fever strikes again when the 47 of Bob Scott Jr. loses power, leaving Brandon Warner, Scott Thunberg, and Eddie Richards Jr. with no place to go. Mike Potts got by Palm on lap 8 and held on to win his second street stock feature of the season.
Jim, my runner-up, had a chance to talk with him a little bit earlier in the season. Laps the distance, we're taking one.
A first lap melee would collect the 116 of Travis Meese, the 1 of Gene Knobb, 4M of Kyle Moser, and the 55R of Patrick McLean, sending them all to the restart from the rear of the field. Randy Christine Jr. moved into the top spot on lap 6 and never looked back. Let's ride along with Randy to the checkered flag.
in turns 3 and 4.
Speaking of Randy Christine Jr., I'm pretty excited to have our first guest in the Speed King studio, and he's a good friend. I like hanging out with him. Welcome, Randy. How are you doing, buddy?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Hope you're excited. It sounds like you had quite a weekend. Well, I know you did on Saturday, but again, I guess you took off the next day and won another one.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing. I mean, you don't really get the chance to, it's tough enough to win one feature in a night, let alone, go the next night and get another one. And, I mean, that's pretty awesome. So,
Right.
I mean, it's definitely one of the best memories of my racing career and something I'll remember for a lot of years.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I was pretty excited for you to get that you got your win on Saturday night, and I know you were excited when I talked to you after the races. But I mean, how many wins does that make for this season?
Well, with the 2 wins this weekend, that brings us up to 4 for the year.
That's not too shabby, man. That's not too shabby. Tell us a little bit about your car owner and your crew.
I'm pretty fortunate. Our whole deal is pretty much family oriented. So my grandfather and my grandmother own a race car, and I can't thank them enough for what they do for me. I mean, without them doing what they do, I wouldn't be able to be where I'm at this point in my racing career. And it's good to see how happy they are. And my grandma is she's a diehard.
Yeah.
She is a diehard. So. And crew wise, my brother is the crew chief. I mean, works his ass off on the thing, and I mean, as you can tell, 2 wins in a weekend. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he obviously does. And I mean, man, your grandparents. I mean, my grandparents bought me cool stuff for Christmas, but to own a race car would be sweet. I mean, that's pretty nice, and it's nice that it's family oriented. That's the way this sport is. Where? How did you get your start, and where did you get your start?
Actually, my mom and dad had bought a street stock in 2001. We got started racing at Silver Springs. We ran 3 years of street stocks. We were lucky enough I got a win in a street stock up there, so it's always something cool that I got to remember.
Yeah, that is cool. I mean, everybody that's watching, I mean, there's probably not too many people that don't know about that joint, and we all grew up there as racers, and that was a real fun place. But how did you choose your number 74? I was always curious about that.
74 that's a family number. My grandfather Manny Christine raced for many years, and he started that number, and then it just kind of kept bumping down through the years. And
it seems like a lot of people carry on the tradition of the family number, which is really cool. I kind of like that. Obviously, you can tell me how you feel about the track, and you have already. But what's your take on what Scott has here, and Colton running the joint, and me running around acting like a fool? But what's your take on the racetrack itself since we took over?
I mean, it's going to be a good deal. I mean, it's going to take some time, and there's some nights that it's been a little rough, or it's been a little this or a little that. But I mean, overall, I mean, the facility's awesome. I mean, they're trying, and to me, that's all that matters. As long as they're trying and they're working to try to make things better. I mean, as a dirt racer, that's all you can ask for, because at the end of the day, it's a dirt track, and there's weather you can't control, and there's a lot of factors you can't control. But when things aren't quite right, and they go out and they work on it and they try to make it better. So, I mean, personally for me, that's all I would ask for is they're trying to make it better, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
That's awesome. And I know firsthand what it's like to be at that place every day. I'm there 12 hours a day, it seems like. And I tell you what, it don't bother me one bit. We certainly got a diamond in the rough, and I think it's going to be a great place for future action. I'm sure there's a long list of people you would like to thank. Sponsors. Obviously, your family. You thank them. You got some really cool sponsors, and I'm fortunate enough to know a few of them, and they definitely are cool people.
Yeah, we're blessed to have a lot of good sponsors. It's tough to get sponsorship, but what I try to find is we want to get sponsors that want to be involved with racing. Like try to get them to come to the races, and try to have some events together, and just build that relationship. They're helping us, so we try to help them a little bit too. And the Falls Hotel. We had an event down there the other weekend, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I had fun. I had fun, by the way.
Yeah.
Colton and I had a great time. Great people. That's a good sponsor.
Right. So it's just nice to be able to help each other back and forth. Ginrick Excavating came on board this year. He's been super supporter. Still trying to get him to the races. He's been once or twice, but we're still working to get him back. Eastern Lift Truck, they helped me out the last couple years. Huntsberger Hauling's been on the car for a couple years. Research Service Center and Car Wash, they've been on board for 2 or 3 years now. Great people. They love coming to the races, and when they're at the races, they're always messaging me, and just encouraging. And it's a good deal. Pizza Box and Hoagie Shop, they got good food. And
I just went by yesterday, and I didn't stop. Maybe I'll stop next time.
Yeah, stop in, check them out.
Yeah.
Great food, great people. They treat us really well. And then Jeff Byers, he builds our engines and helps out. Super nice people. Can't ask for anything more of an engine builder. And then R.E. Fink and Son, they have actually been with me since 2001, since I started racing. And sadly, Rich Fink has passed away here over the winter. So it was nice. My goal coming in the year, I wanted to win at least one for Rich, and we were able to get him one. So
yeah, very cool, very cool. Good people,
Yes.
people, by the way. Yeah, they're right down the street from the Speedway. Very good people. And I guess my time now is to ask the question I've been wanting to ask, and a lot of people know that you are, if they're following Susquehanna Speedway and following the late models and what's been going on in the points battle has been intense and insane. And now you've buffered your lead in the points right now with 2 races, I believe, to go. We have, and how are you feeling about that? You're just about ready to clinch a championship, man.
The goal all year has been just go and win races. If you go and win races, that takes care of itself. We had a really, really bad night there about halfway through the year, and I didn't think the whole point still would have even been close to this. So we just decided we were going to go race and try to win races, and we've been fortunate. We've been running really good, but how racing goes. Just as good as it can be good, it can be bad. So nothing's set in stone. We're not taking nothing for granted. I'm going back to win races. I'm not going to go back and try to points race. I'm going to go race how I race, and when things end up, that's how it'll be.
Right. It sure makes you think a little bit, though. I'm sure you're sitting in the car hearing every noise possible that you never heard before going into these last few races.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. The last time we raced and the time before that we raced, I was freaked out about a couple things. Just things that I didn't hear before, and we struggled a little bit in the heat race, and I just worrying. So I'm kind of over that, I think. But I know with Randy Stout, Jake Jones, and Steve Billett right there. Nothing's locked up. So we still just got to go back and just do our normal deal, and hopefully everything works out.
Right on. Well, listen, Randy, I really appreciate you coming in and taking your time out of your night to come down and talk with us. And definitely one of the good guys in racing, man. Always a buddy. Appreciate it. We'll see you at the Speedway.
Thanks, man.
All right.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you next week on the Susky Report.